Hey, what's going on, everybody? Cody Pasby with you for another edition of The Break Room. I'm very excited to welcome our next guest onto the show today, a guy I have been a fan of for a very long time, stand-up comedian, one of the funniest guys on the planet, plus a podcasting pioneer. He's the host of Never Not Funny, which is now going on 15 years running and still going strong. We talked baseball, we talked White Sox baseball, we talked music, we talked about sitting next to Pete Rose on an airplane. We went all over the place in a great conversation with Jimmy Pardo. Here he is. Absolutely excited. Been a fan for many years. Listen to Never Not Funny.
Right.
It's just, absolutely fantastic. By the way, I do want to start things off by saying congratulations, a belated happy 15th birthday to Never Not Funny. What is it? It's 15 years this year. Is that correct?
15 years. April 6th, I think it was.
Yeah.
15 years. Yeah.
That's incredible. Yeah. Congratulations. I've been a listener for, I want to say at least 6 or 7 of those 15 years. So yeah, absolutely love the podcast. It brightens my day, brightens my week to hear you guys, hear the gang. I do want to ask, as someone who has worked in radio and the podcasting stuff, so talking a little inside baseball here, but seeing how podcasting has changed from when you started to where we are now, obviously, it's the oldest joke now where people just talk about how there's too many podcasts and everyone's got a podcast, blah, blah, blah. But to me, there's a ton of radio shows, there's a ton of books, there's a ton of everything. It's just, to me, it shows it's a healthy medium that people like and are still excited about. Where do you stand right now with where you started with podcasting and how you've seen it grow over now nearly 2 decades of doing this?
Is this on the air or is this off the air, Cody?
I'm happy to edit it out if you don't want anything in.
I kind of feel I'm torn between agreeing with you and not agreeing with you. I agree in the sense that there's a podcast for anybody. I mean, if you don't like comedy, if you don't like baseball cards, then don't listen to these shows and find something that appeals to you. So that's the beauty to agree with that. Like, there's a zillion radio shows. I don't like that morning team. Then don't listen to them. Listen to that other morning team. So podcasting has that for you. Now that said, when I started, there was 12 of us doing podcasting, and I didn't have to compete with Conan O'Brien and Joe Rogan for an audience. So that part of it is get out of my lane, famous people. That's what I'm trying to say. We those of us that have been the quote unquote pioneers of podcasting, we did this because we didn't have at the time TV jobs. We were between TV or radio gigs, and so we did podcasting as a way to be creative and use our talents. So it's weird that all of these famous people who are still on TV or sitcoms or whatever went, you know what, I'm going to do that too. And then they butt into our audience. So that gets a little frustrating. But again, then if you don't want to listen to those, don't listen to them. Listen to me. Don't listen to me. Listen to them. Listen to you. Don't listen to you. Listen to this guy. Listen to that guy. So on.
Right. Yeah. I think there's totally valid points. I understand there's the frustration, but you guys definitely still like podcast pioneers and one of the best in the business still to this day.
Well, thank you for saying that.
It's a blast to listen to you guys. Really.
I like how you agree with me, and I'm not 100% sure I said anything. I think I just walked in a circle just to hear my own voice for 32 minutes.
Talking about trading cards here today.
Darn right we are.
That's right. Let's just hear a little bit about your trading card history. What did you collect? Did you collect as a kid? Who did you collect? Did you have a specific card that was the crown jewel of your collection?
I don't know if I ever had a crown jewel. I don't think I was ever that lucky. Although I grew up in the time where there really weren't crown jewels in baseball. I didn't collect football or basketball or anything. I collected baseball cards. And I remember we used to go to Kane Liquor. Was it Kane Liquor? They were the ones that got the Topps cards in before anybody else for some reason. And maybe they didn't. Maybe they got them at the exact same time, but Kane put them out a minute earlier. And so we would all, after school, we'd go, Kane's getting them today. And we'd all ride our bike to Kane Liquor. And we'd buy our packages of baseball cards, and we would sit out in front of Kane Liquor while the drunks and the hobos would go in to get their booze. Here's these, 11, 12-year-olds opening up their baseball packages, chewing on the awful gum, and which wasn't really all that awful. It was an okay gum. And, any trading that went on was basically, hey, I got 2 Chet Lemons. I got 2 Claudel Washingtons, and then, you trade a lemon for a Washington. So, and then, so it would be putting sets together that way. The idea of buying a box, the 1976 Topps cards, that wasn't, and if it was a thing, it was not certainly in my price range. We went and bought the packages, and then, throughout the summer to put the set together and hope that by the end of the summer you would have the full set. There wasn't the going to a card shop and buying them all at once. And again, at least not on my allowance. Maybe it's something that existed for the rich people. But that's what we collected, the baseball cards, mostly looking to get, because I grew up in Chicago and I was a White Sox fan. But even White Sox or Cubs, trying to get the local guys, because those are the names that we knew from television.
Sure.
And then the famous Reggie Jacksons and the stuff like that would be on Monday Night Baseball. And then I also collected the rock band Kiss. They had the trading cards there for, I think they had 2 or 3 series of those. And I collected all of those. I still have all of those.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I think they're worth up to almost nothing at this point. And I sold most of my baseball cards when I moved to Los Angeles. I still have some from those days of buying the packages, but to go in order. Then I also collected the PGA golf cards. Those were a thing there for a little bit, and I believe those are also worth upwards of nothing.
Well, you'd be surprised, Jimmy. There's it's actually a new PGA product just came out. In fact, I think I've got it here. I think I'm using it as my mic stand at the moment. Oh. There it is. That's the new one, and it's huge right now. People love it. It's got, tons. I think it's the first one in like 5 years. So you've got all like Justin Thomas, Bryson DeChambeau are all rookies in it. And they're actually pretty hot sellers right now. So I might.
What about the one that I have from the 90s? Is that thing worth anything? Or
it might be. I know for sure the one with the Tiger Woods is a rookie. That one's worth something. So I'm not sure about the 90s though.
I don't think I think I have one with Chip Beck in it. So it's not worth the.
Just anything. A little bit under Tiger, just a little bit,
yeah. So I collected those, and then I went through a phase, and maybe this was before the PGA. I did go through a phase when Score, Donruss, Upper Deck, when they all had baseball cards and baseball card conventions. Every weekend, some hotel had a baseball card convention.
Yep.
And in the early 90s, and I went through a phase where I went to those every weekend, and I just loved the atmosphere. I loved, and I was looking for like the rookie Frank Thomas card, which I now have. Now that, again, it's not worth what it was then. It was worth so much money. The Leaf rookie card, and then it all fell apart. And I then ended up selling all of my baseball cards when I moved to LA, with the exception of the Ricky. I think I have a Ricky Henderson. That one that's that was at some time worth something. I have that one. Maybe it's a little off center, so it might not be worth as much. And then I have a Nolan Ryan that's worth something. When I say worth something, I'm talking about in 1992. It was worth something. It could be garbage now. And then I do have that Frank Thomas rookie card, and I think I have the Diamond Kings or something from Donruss. That again. Say it again.
Yeah, I said sure. Yeah, the Diamond Kings they're still making Diamond Kings to this day. Yeah.
And those were hard to find. I remember that was the thing that we were all looking for at those conventions back then, whereas now I think you could walk in and get them in any, they're just in the random card file, and they're not in Lucite like they were back in those days. And so that's basically, I know that was a long-winded answer, but that's basically my life of collecting cards. And now all I do, Cody, is I buy each year's Topps White Sox team set. And I put them in a little booklet, and that's it.
Well, you've got some cards right in front of you there. We sent you some. So let's start opening some cards, shall we? So if you want to, whatever you want to start with, we'll just get things rolling.
Well, is one of the things you sent me, is that more exciting than the other, that we should wait and let that be the big closing number?
Maybe. I would say let's leave that Topps. I think it's the Archives signature is the box.
Save that for last.
Yes, because that's got one guaranteed. You've got an autograph in there of a player from, I think, a player from the 90s, 80s, 70s, even further back. Sometimes there's a Hall of Famer in there, so maybe save that one for last.
Oh, that's exciting. Yeah. And now, whenever I've opened up one of those in the past, it's always been guy who might have played one game in the majors.
Yeah.
Is there a chance it could be that as well as it could be Jackie Robinson?
I would say at best it could be, like Jackie Robinson. At worst, though, you're getting, I don't know, a guy who maybe was like a 2-time All-Star, but like a good player, but not a Hall of Fame player,
Okay, so this will be somebody decent.
Yeah.
Because I have one card, I forget what it was, but I ordered a jersey from a site once, and they went, order now, and we'll throw in an autographed collector card. And it was and I play fantasy baseball, so I know pretty much every player. It's a guy I never even heard of. And it's like, now I have his autographed card, and so basically it's the old Mitch Hedberg joke. Hey, I'm going to mail this to you. You throw that away. That's basically what it came down.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so that would be good. I have 20 Topps 2021 Inception.
I think that's a good place to start. There is, I think, guaranteed to be an autograph in that one as well. But that one is definitely runs the gamut between, guy you've never heard of to superstar player or, top rookie or whatever it may be.
Now, speaking of that, Cody, I don't know if you know this. What are the little cards that Topps puts out?
Allen and Ginter. That's the one. Yes.
And I am on an Allen and Ginter card. There's a Jimmy Pardo Allen and Ginter card in 2021.
Oh, that's awesome. Oh, that's awesome news to hear.
It was the coolest email ever. Actually, they tweeted at me. They said, would you be interested in being on a baseball card? And it's like, as soon as I picked up my phone from the ground, because I was so excited. And then, I had to sign a bunch of them. Speaking of guys opening up a pack and getting an autographed card of somebody they haven't heard of, get excited for your Jimmy Pardo card, friends. But it was still cool. Like, it's the coolest thing in the world. Yeah. Like my son has it up on display on his desk of his dad's autographed baseball card. And that's pretty effing cool.
So I do have to ask, because we know you threw out the first pitch in that White Sox game that it was immortalized in one of the Podcastathon logos. Does it happen to be that picture? Do you know if it's that picture, or is it
I
something else?
Can tell you that I even offered that photo up. I think this should be the photo, and they went, actually, it's got to be uniform with everybody's is kind of a headshot sort of thing.
Right.
So it's just my headshot, and I still think, like, you got a guy throwing out a baseball, use the guy throwing out the baseball.
Right, exactly.
On a baseball card. Let's use the guy on the mound at a game throwing out a baseball. There are 7 cards in here that feel about as thick as 30 cards. Must be some filler in the pack.
They are. Well, no, those are actually pretty thick cards. I'm trying to see if I got one offhand. I don't. Yeah, they're pretty thick, pretty sturdy cards. These are definitely, I love the design of these. So
these are beautiful.
Yeah, great looking cards.
These are beautiful, and they are thick enough that if you have a wobbly table, you could just slide these underneath there and use one of them. Now, here's a guy. I play, as I mentioned, I play fantasy baseball. Yeah. And I said, I'm going to draft this guy in every league. And then whenever that draft came around, I forgot to do so. And boy, do I regret it. Shohei Ohtani.
Oh gosh, Shohei. He has just been remarkable.
Shohei Ohtani, just boy, I cannot stop looking at these cards.
I know.
How beautiful they are.
Yeah, Shohei Ohtani is just having, I think, last night he had another game where he hit second and started the game.
Right.
Never seen anything like it. It's incredible what he's doing.
It is. It's exciting for the game at a time where the game needs that kind of excitement.
Absolutely. People who are, superstars from other sports are talking about baseball.
I know, right?
Something you haven't said in a while. Yeah, exactly. It's not Kevin Durant said something, so it's great for the game.
Is J.J. Watt a superstar, or is he just a guy that's now being forced on me on television?
No, you're good. Okay. You got that one right.
This one is my current favorite player, Luis Robert from the White Sox.
Oh, yes. What a shame that he's hurt right now.
Dude.
So exciting. Such an exciting guy to watch.
Oh, I'm going to save the autograph one for last. Congratulations. You just received a Rookies and Emerging Stars autograph card. And he's injured, but there's a chance he could be an all-star for years to come. Brian Hayes.
Oh, wow. That's a fantastic card.
It is, right?
That's actually because you can't find him in the regular top set right now. So he's only in a few products at the moment. So that's actually a really fantastic card to get right there.
And by the way, that's number 58 of 150. That one has a number on it as well.
Oh, that's a great one. Yeah, I'm very excited to see him. The little bit we saw of him last year was very, very exciting. I really like him. By the way, I do got to get your thoughts on the White Sox. I feel like the stars kind of aligned because we, like I said, we delayed the interview a little bit, and actually for the White Sox, because they're kind of the talk of baseball right now. Maybe not for, obviously, one of the best records in baseball. They look fantastic, but what's going on with Tony La Russa and all that too?
When they signed him, first, a very quick Tony La Russa story. When I was in 7th grade, the summer between 7th and 8th grade, I broke my wrist, and I had my arm, my wrist was in a cast, and we went to a White Sox game, and this is back in the 70s where, you could really just, you parked out in front of the stadium. Like it was that without paying parking. You just parked on the street and you walked into the stadium. And if you wanted autographs, you went by the field and the players would sign them. So I walk up to the dugout, and Tony La Russa at the time was the third base coach for the White Sox. And he came over and he's signing some kids' baseballs and stuff. And then he saw my arm and he said, "What happened to your arm?" I said, "I broke my wrist." And he goes, "Well, do you mind if I sign your cast?" And I was like, "No, that'd be great. Sign my cast." And he went, "You know what? Let's get some more." And he called the whole team over to sign my cast.
That's incredible.
Right?
Now, the only bummer is, did you have to get rid of that cast immediately? Or did they let you keep the cast afterwards?
Here's the downside of it, Cody. So the next day, my brother, who was a great Little League baseball player, we went to watch one of my brother's games, and an unexpected rainstorm comes and washes away my autographs. So,
unbelievable.
But because of that, I have an affection for Tony La Russa because he did that. A 12-year-old Jimmy Pardo remembers that he took the time to get these other players over to do that. So I've always liked Tony La Russa. And again, I have this affection for him. So when they signed him, I was on the side of, well, he is a Hall of Famer, and he did get these guys to sign my cast, so let's give him a shot. And within 2 weeks, I was like, the experiment's over. Get rid of him. The experiment's over. You got to shake him loose. He's not right for the game anymore. And he really isn't.
Yeah, the game is, I hate to say it's passed him by, but yeah, there's just that feeling of, and you see the other players all getting, behind your mean Mercedes right now with the whole home run thing. And yeah, it's rough to watch, but hey, they're playing incredible baseball. They're one of the most fun teams. They've got maybe the best broadcast in all of baseball, broadcast team. I know you have Jason Benetti on the show. He's been a regular guest, and it's that perfect balance of like, it feels like you're just hanging out with your friends watching baseball, and also the guy calling the game is one of the best in the business.
He's great. And Steve Stone may be the best color man out there. I mean, he is, he's always been great. Even when he was with the Cubs, he was great. And then when he disappeared, when he wasn't with the Cubs or anybody, and he was doing, I think, a few Sunday night baseballs for ESPN, it was like, oh, Steve Stone's on. And it was great to hear Steve Stone and, former White Sox himself and former Cub and, former, I want to say, Playgirl magazine. He might have been in. I believe he was.
That I would have to look that up. Yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to do a little research after this. Why don't we do some of the music cards? Let's change it up a little bit. Obviously, you were in your time when you came to LA, you worked in the music industry. So anything you want to talk about with some of these, if there's any stories that come up with some of these guys, fire away.
I will tell you initially, before I even open these are 10 hot photo cards.
That's right.
10 hot photo. And just to clarify, I was in the music business when I lived in Chicago.
That's right. Yeah. I don't mix up a little bit.
Here's a guy that using his teeth to open up a package like an animal. It's a cellophane package. These are hot photo cards. And yes, I worked for MCA. I managed record stores from the mid 80s on, and then I worked for MCA Records from 87, 88, 89, and then I quit to do stand-up full-time. Here's a card, Perfect Gentleman.
I couldn't tell you who that is. Not in a million years.
Well, having groomed to audition, producer Maurice Starr Jr. began the decade producing another band called Perfect Gentleman. Yep. Not familiar. Kings of the Sun have a card, so they could talk about that at their day job.
That's right. Boy, it's...
I feel bad making that joke because I hate when guys make that joke. It's like, you know what? They were big enough to have a card, you jerk. So, you know what I mean? What have you done musically? Nothing. 2 Janet Jackson cards.
Now there's a hit. Yeah, now that's a good one. I don't know if any of these cards are worth anything.
I'm going to say no.
No, but if any is, maybe a Janet Jackson might be.
Oh, no, this is interesting, Cody. She's Michael's sister.
Never would have guessed.
Right on the card here. She ruined the Super Bowl.
I know.
Ruined it.
How dare she? How dare she do that and expose herself to all those children?
Right. But let's get the camera on the cheerleaders.
Yes, absolutely.
Same with when Shakira was on. How could they show that to there's young people watching? And then here come the cheerleaders. It's like, you hypocritical idiots.
There was a moment, but that happened, that moment with Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake. And I realized, because you look at the next 5, and I think it's like Tom Petty, Paul McCartney, Bruce Springsteen. And you just went, no, we can't do that. We have to have, we have to be as safe as possible.
Right.
And I think finally we've come back around with that J-Lo Shakira one.
Which was wonderful. They were both great. It's not my cup of tea. That's not what I listen. I listen to classic rock, but that was a heck of a halftime show. It was great.
It's incredibly entertaining halftime show. Yeah, we've definitely come back around, but I guess we're just, we're one wrong move away from going back to that.
Being back to 5 straight bland white dudes.
That's right.
Speaking of bland white dudes, this is not them. Now, one of these guys has been a guest on my show. Here's Damn Yankees, which has Tommy Shaw from Styx, who was on Never Not Funny during the pandemic, which is very nice of him to join us. Styx is one of my favorite bands. They're great. I like Damn Yankees. A little hard to like Ted Nugent these days. A little hard to like Ted.
Yeah, I would say so. I would definitely say so.
Here's Roxette. They had that big hit. Was Did Not Know Love.
Yeah, it's that's one of those bands my wife will tell me all the time, like, oh, Roxette, they were huge. She was born in the Philippines, and they said in the Philippines, Roxette, huge. Humongous, apparently. And she told me, oh, don't you know this song and this song and this song? I literally never, I think maybe one, never heard of any of these.
They played them like crazy. You're much younger than I am, but they played. In fact, one time I was going through a horrible breakup, and I had to call my ex at her job. And while I was on hold, the Roxette song came on, and I was sobbing by the time she picked up the phone, and it was embarrassing. Like, really? That song had to come on in the middle of this? Awful.
While you're opening that, I do want to ask you this. This was let's say I was trying to find cards of the comedy world. I think I actually found some Saturday Night Live cards that are hanging out on eBay right now. Right. But I was thinking about if stand-up comedians had trading cards, who would be the rookie cards that you would want the most? If stand-up comics ever had like a trading card set out there.
Boy, you mean like a George Carlin rookie card? That's
exactly.
Or a rookie from today.
I would say rookie card, like owning a Michael Jordan rookie card, where this is a big deal. Yeah, exactly like George Carlin.
I would go George Carlin. While I'm not the biggest, but Jay Leno obviously would be huge. I guess modern day, John Mulaney or Nate Bargatze.
Oh, sure.
They're great. Nikki Glaser is great. There's so many great young comics these days. And it infuriates me. Once again, pushing the old men out. But I guess, I think of my heroes growing up were Richard Lewis and Robert Klein and Johnny Carson and Don Rickles and Groucho Marx. I mean, so to me, those are them. But I think at the end of the day, I think the answer is George Carlin. I think that would be the one that everybody would go, oh, do you got a 63 Carlin?
Yeah, that's a great point. The other one, I was thinking, Carlin, just because of his notoriety, maybe a Lenny Bruce might be the other one that I was thinking, maybe. But yeah, it's Carlin. It's a slam dunk.
I think it is. Maybe Bob Newhart.
Oh, sure.
Maybe Joan Rivers, because she opened up so many doors. Mm-hmm. But it really does. Richard Pryor, certainly.
Yeah.
But boy, I would say Pryor and Carlin and Joan Rivers are and maybe Lenny Bruce, like you mentioned. Would be the 4 that you would the rookie cards you'd want. What's interesting about holding these hot photo cards in my hand, these music ones, is I got spoiled holding the Topps Inceptions in my hand. Right. And the quality of that compared to this garbage, I mean, this is literally a thick piece of paper. That's all this is.
They are specifically made for being put into bicycle spokes. Like they're not meant to be for much else. And
like you say, immediately take them out of the package to immediately insert into spoke.
Yeah.
Because this is junk. Here they are. The party. We got Cody. We got it.
We got the party. Let's wrap it up. That's the one we've all wanted.
Jesus. Each member of the versatile quintet is featured on the group's self-titled debut album. Dude, I was in the record business in the late 80s, and I don't know who this is.
Yeah, not at all rings a bell.
I believe we may already have our first double. No, we don't. There's a third Janet Jackson card.
All right. Well, maybe those Janet Jackson cards aren't worth what we thought they were. If there's 3 of them in there.
Right. We got them. Excel.
Boy, I would imagine grunge.
They do have, I can tell you what they are. A reviewer for Rip Magazine said they are crossover skate rock metalcore.
I mean, everyone's favorite genres of 1991. Yeah.
They might as well just put a sticker on, keep moving Jimmy Pardo. That should be on the cover of that.
What does skate rock even sound like? I don't. What does that even mean?
I think we know, but I can't.
Right. I'm imagining some sort of mashup of punk and ska or something. I have no idea. Yeah.
Throw some metal into that. And
right.
Then, they are the remains of the seminal Los Angeles hardcore band Chaotic Noise. That help you?
Yep. Yeah. That's. I'm still a little lost.
Now this is interesting. I've actually been to this person's house. This is an artist called Vinx, Vinx. He's a percussionist who was on the Pangea record label, which actually I sold when I worked for MCA Records. Pangea was something that we distributed. Mm-hmm. But I went to an artist that I like named Ellis Paul, who's a terrific singer-songwriter. Oh, yeah. He was doing a show at Vinx's house. It was a house concert.
Wow.
And so I went to Vinx's home. So now I have his card. Here's U2, who I actually hung out with them backstage once, where George Clooney was standing right behind me. And I didn't know he was behind me, but boy, I saw everybody staring at me and then realized nobody is looking at me.
What year would that have been?
That was the most recent tour. The most recent.
Oh, wow.
Tour.
Okay.
And
so this is not ER Clooney. This is Top of the World Clooney. Yeah.
This is salt and pepper hair, gorgeous Clooney. And it was, I was talking to, I was there with some friends and I'm like, what? Why is everybody looking at me? There's at the time, Quincy Jones was in there, and there were other Sheila E. and some other famous musicians were backstage.
Right. And
I just happened to be friends of somebody famous that was backstage, and everybody's staring at my direction, and it was making me really uncomfortable because, like, are they all looking at me like, why the F is that guy here? Why does he belong back here? And then finally, my friend goes, George Clooney's right behind you, and I turn around, and it's like, whoa! Like, that's how stinking handsome that guy is.
By the way, I should say, my dad is a huge fan of the Jimmy's Records and Tapes.
Oh, that's nice of him.
Yeah, I said, hey, you should watch this. He's a huge music guy, loves of the 70s and 80s. So, yeah, I told him, oh yeah, I'm having Jimmy on the show, and he went, oh, Jimmy's Records and Tapes, right? Yeah, I love his stuff. So
I'm gonna guess, Cody, just by how young you are, that your dad is my age. That's my guess.
Yeah, just about. That's about right. Yeah.
What do you mean, just about? Your dad's younger than me?
No, a little older. So, yeah. So just run that. Yeah.
If your dad was younger than me, I would have thrown myself off a building. That would have been awful. The great Michael Bolton, gorgeous head of hair.
Absolutely.
Here's the Divinals, who I saw in concert once, and she was so drunk and/or high out of her mind that during a song, she went to the front row, grabbed somebody's purse, and just started rifling through it. That is a true story.
Who knows? Maybe this is the one that's got, something huge in it. I have no idea. I don't know if there's autographs or anything, or literally anything at this point.
I don't. By the quality of these, I don't even think these artists signed off on this. No. On these things. There's no way there's an autograph in here unless it's the guy that that sold them. George Michael, of course, the legendary.
There you go.
Wham's one of my favorite bands.
Great picture.
Cool J. That is a great picture. That actually might be.
That's a great
best
one.
Looking of all the cards.
I think that's it. I think that is the best one right there. He looks fantastic in that.
All right, that's number one in the clubhouse then, as far as good-looking cards go. Here's Sting, looking as pretentious as he did back in those days. Foreigner, one of my favorite bands. Speaking of corporate rock, I love them. I'm not convinced that's I bet you $1,000 that's not Foreigner. That is not Foreigner. I'm not kidding. That is not a photograph of Foreigner.
I don't know if that's just a misprint or they just were hoping no one would notice. I'm gonna bet on the latter.
It is. Oh, you know what it is? It's a photo with their new lead singer Johnny Edwards. He was only on one album, and the other guys just don't look like them. So, all right, that's
maybe a bit of a rarity there then.
Do you think it's more rare than biscuit?
I I don't. That's also, you know what? I kind of love the photo of that one. He looks like he's having a great time.
The biscuit looks like he's having fun. We can't be mad at biscuit.
I'm not. I like the jacket. I'm all about biscuit now.
Even his back picture is great. Even the come on, Jim, learn how to use this camera.
Yeah, that's great.
And then you got Sonic Youth and Havana Black. But all right. So winner out of those 5,
I think George Michael.
George Michael.
Although Biscuit's a dark horse.
Biscuit is the dark horse. Biscuit. And of course, if you need 97 Janet Jacksons, I'm your man.
Let's rip open.
Yes.
I think what we got, the Leaf in the Game used sports.
David Robinson. And this is a little piece of his shoe.
Oh, that one's, the shoes I think are a little harder to come by. So that's a really great one. David Robinson, of the Spurs, the Admiral, I think they called him.
Well, I got bad news. I don't think there's an autograph in here.
Oh, jeez. It might be because there's that shoe. That's a pretty rare one.
Oh, I see.
Compared to that, yeah.
This one is the season leaders from 1973: Pete Rose, O.J. Simpson.
Oh my.
Will Chamberlain and Phil Esposito, and then a little piece of each of their jerseys. See, the OJ one does have a little bit of blood on it.
Yeah.
That is. We all saw that joke coming. Yeah,
I forgot to mention this is one of the very few products that carries O.J. Simpson and Pete Rose, for that matter.
I sat next to Pete Rose on a plane once. This is a 100% true story. We were flying from Vegas back to Los Angeles, and the flight was delayed. And so everybody's coming onto the plane, and they're all staring. He had the seat by the window. I had the aisle. And everybody's walking past us, and they're all saying, hey, Charlie Hustle, there he is. Charlie Hustle, there he is. And they're all excited, and I'm like just sitting next to Pete Rose, which is just bizarre. And so they delay the flight once, they delay it twice, and he just goes, "Come on!" And I turn to him and I just go, "We're gonna get there, Pete." And it was the first thing I said to him the entire time we were sitting together. And he grabs my hand and goes, "You know what? You're right." And then just the rest of it, calm down. And then we talked baseball for the entire flight. And It was great.
All it took was just
that was all it just needed a guy to calm down Charlie Hustle. And
man.
Of course, all the jokes I made after that was, was he betting what time the plane was going to take off? Was he betting how many people talked to him? Now this is a game used again.
Okay.
This is a Kurt Warner.
All right.
Football. Looks like a football.
Oh, sure. Let's see. Chosen few. Oh, wow. That's one of a kind right there.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. That's they actually call that the shield, the logo.
Oh.
That's actually a fantastic card. Right.
This is one of one. Yeah, you're right. One of one.
Yeah. And Kurt Warner, a Hall of Fame quarterback. They're making a movie about his life. Oh,
do you think they're gonna do this back then for the movie?
Yeah,
they did this little.
Yeah, they're gonna need that shield? That's right. Gonna need to stitch that onto the costumes.
Well, that's exciting. Then
that's actually a fantastic one to wrap it up with.
Oh, and you know what? You're right. That shoe one was 6 of 6.
Yeah.
So there's only 6 of that one.
Those ones are pretty rare.
Then the other ones have some kind of higher numbers, but that must be why I didn't get an autograph, because they included those 2 amazing cards. All right, are you ready now for the?
All right. Hopefully we've saved the best for last. Hopefully we get maybe a Henry Aaron or but.
Now, full disclosure, up above my left thing, I have a Henry Aaron autographed baseball.
Oh, wow.
Next to an Ernie Banks, next to a Mickey Mantle, next to a 1979 Chicago White Sox team autographed ball.
Oh, my gosh.
I got a Frank Thomas. I've got a Paul Konerko. I got a Bo Jackson, and then another Frank Thomas.
Oh, wow. That's an incredible collection.
My father-in-law, the great Walter Koenig of Star Trek fame, he gave me the Hank Aaron, the Ernie Banks, and the Mickey Mantle as birthday gifts. Obviously 3 different birthdays, and those are great, right?
Those are really good. In fact, I may. This is another bringing up my dad again. He'll be really happy. He's got, I think, either 77 or 78 Chicago White Sox as well.
Really?
My grandfather was friends with Ken Henderson, who used to be on the White Sox.
Right.
When he was on the Giants, he worked with them at the insurance company in the offseason. So, we've got a signed White Sox baseball. It was the year they were wearing shorts for sure.
That might be 77 or 76 or 77 then.
Yeah. So around the same.
And those are the team. And by the way, that might be from that too. I said 79. That might be from 76 or 77. Because that's when I was just all in on them, all in.
Yeah.
And defended the shorts. Like I was a young kid going, I think it's great they're wearing shorts. Ridiculous.
Absolutely ridiculous. They're fun, but yeah. And the collared shirt on top of it all.
I have a game-worn Alan Bannister jersey from that era that I just love. He was my favorite player growing up. And then to get a game-worn jersey of him many years later was just amazing. So
that's awesome.
All right, listen. Here's how you open it. Okay, here we go. Oh, so it's just one card, right?
That's one card. It's going to be encased in something there, so nice and protected. Hopefully, we can add it to the collection there.
All right, here we come. So then here it is. I will open it live as I open it. And who do I have there?
Milwaukee Brewers, Gorman Thomas.
Okay, that can't be anything but disappointing, right?
I mean, it's a great photo. But
if you're thinking you're gonna get a Hank Aaron, and you get still a Brewer here, although he wasn't with the Brewers, the Milwaukee Braves, but right, wasn't Hank Aaron on the Milwaukee Brewers?
He was in the Milwaukee Braves, but he did end his career with the Milwaukee Brewers.
He did. Okay, I'm not nuts. So there we go. What an anticlimactic.
Yeah, a little bit. I was hoping when I saw the Brewers thinking maybe a Robin Yount or a Paul Molitor, something good.
I thought that maybe even a Cecil Cooper.
Yeah, anybody. Yeah, really. Yeah, we'll take Bernie the Brewer, the mascot.
This is no disrespect to Gorman Thomas, but when you're expecting, on the front here, they got pictures of Hank Aaron, they got famous people. You think, again, no disrespect. But as a reminder, we do have Biscuit as well. So we got Biscuit to I may take Gorman Thomas out of the loose site and put the Biscuit in there. Now, in fairness to him, I did not know that in 1979 he hit 45 home runs.
That's I was gonna say I'm trying to look up the baseball reference page right now to see if we're being a little harsh to old Gorman.
I think we're being harsh. At the same time, again, if you're thinking you're going to get Hank Aaron, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, but 45 home runs in 79, dude, that's a lot of home runs back in that era.
The third, he finished 7th and 8th in the MVP voting. A 13-year career, had 268 home runs. So that's a solid career.
He looks like one of those and I mean this complimentary because a lot of baseball players have that dumb farmer look where all they know how to do is I hit ball.
Right.
And he did it.
He's definitely got I was going to say Thurman Munson look too of that same era. He had the very same look.
Absolutely.
As him. In fact, when I first saw it, I thought we were looking at Thurman Munson.
I thought so too. And almost read it.
Which would have been great. Yeah.
Well, it'd be anything up from what we got here.
All right. Apologies to the Gorman Thomas family.
Of course, all for humor. Mr. Thomas. I'm a professional comedian trying to be entertaining. I am thrilled to own your autographed baseball card. Thank you.
Going right in between the Frank Thomas and the Hank Aaron up in the mantle. So
you don't think that's going up? And with my Cabran Hayes, I'm going to put both of those up.
Yeah. Well, there you go. You know what? We got the Cabran Hayes, which that could be something very, very big down the road.
Or
already
some a-hole comedian 20 years from now is going to go, oh, good, I got a Cabran Hayes. And you and me and your dad and I will be in our rocking chairs going, these young kids don't get it.
Well, Jimmy, thank you so much for coming on the show. This was a blast. I hope you had a good time.
I had a great time. This was a blast. I had a ball. Cody, honest to God, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Absolutely loved it. You can listen to Never Not Funny every week. Let us know more about where we can find you and Never Not Funny.
Well, that's it. Nevernotfunny.com is the podcast. As Cody mentioned, my web series, Jimmy's Records and Tapes, where I talk about this season, my 5 favorite of a certain genre, be it yacht rock, be it classic rock, be it prog rock. And at Jimmy Pardo on Twitter. And I'm a White Sox fan. So I will occasionally tweet out how angry I am at what's happening in the game at that very moment.
Go Pale Hosts. We're rooting for. I'm a big Your Mean Mercedes fan, so they're my second team this year. A full disclosure.
Giants had a big day today. If we're time stamping this episode, they had a huge day today.
Absolutely. Hey, you know what? Right as we sit here, the 2 best records of baseball, Giants and White Sox. So,
and one of them is very unexpected. Can we agree on that?
Absolutely unexpected.
Yeah.
Thought optimistically 2 years from now we'd be talking about this. did not expect to be talking about in 2021. So pleasantly surprised.
Agreed. Well, thank you for having me, Cody.